What's happening, everyone? Welcome back to Football in Time. We're now at the end of the season, which means end of season awards. Today's list, we're going to be looking at the top 5 biggest flops of the 2021-2022 season. Yes, many teams have wasted money and they will continue to waste money because that's just how football goes. And today we're going to be looking at the 5 of the biggest money wasters. Number 5, I've got Leon Bailey from Aston Villa as the 5th biggest flop of the season. Bailey had much hype about him, even from my experience playing Football Manager and watching Bundesliga. Bailey was meant to be a wonder kid. So when Aston Villa signed him for £30 million, people were expecting him to be a star. However, with a combination of injuries, change of manager, and just poor form and struggling to adapt to the Premier League, Bailey hasn't been able to stamp his mark on Aston Villa and the English League. He's had a few moments of brilliance, such as the time when he came on against Arsenal and put in a man of the match performance. But he's only had 5 games where he started and made 11 sub appearances. So at the moment, it seems like Gerrard, the Villa manager, doesn't fancy him. And also, Villa have been quite poor overall this season, so maybe that's what's held Bailey back. But for this season, the amount of money they spent with the expectation of who he was in Germany, I have to put Bailey at number 5 of my biggest flops. Coming in at number 4, I've got Jadon Sancho, or Jadon Sancho. Because before this season started, Sancho was one of the most sought out stars, and Man United pursued him for a long time. And for good reason too, because Sancho was a goal and assist machine at Dortmund. In total, he scored 43 goals and assisted 51 times in just 3 seasons at Dortmund, which was brilliant. If you look at his stats for Man United this season, only measly 3 goals and 3 assists all season, which is terrible. Yes, Man United have been poor themselves, and that's probably made Sancho look worse. However, you still expect more from an £80 million signing. And even when Man United were winning, Sancho wasn't contributing that much with goals and assists. Of course, Ronaldo was the main man, but young players like Elanga has outshone Sancho. Sancho still has had some moments of brilliance, some good flashy dribbling, cute passes, but he really needs to take control of the team and attack defenders and show why he's the star everyone thought he was. But I'm sure once United get their team sorted, Sancho will be integral to that resurgence of United. But for this season, he's been a massive flop. Coming in at number 3, I've got Nikola Vlasic. So West Ham were in a desperate need for some reinforcement after selling Sebastian Haller in the summer, and in order to not wear out their main striker, Michael Antonio. So the player they signed is Nikola Vlasic from CSK Moscow for £30 million plus add-ons, which is a lot for a team like West Ham. But it's fair to say that £30 million plus add-ons has been a complete big waste of money. Vlasic hasn't contributed at all to West Ham. He's made 6 starts and 12 appearances in the Premier League, scoring 1 goal and 0 assists. He's been a complete waste of money, but he is young and has international experience with Croatia, because he does play good for Croatia. So maybe next season he could be better. But for now, he's my number 3 on that list. Coming in at number 2, I have to put the 100 million man, the most expensive English player of all time, Jack Grealish, the former Aston Villa captain, their talisman, and he signed for the best team, Man City, in the summer, and people assumed that it was a wrap for the rest of the league. A mercurial talent like Grealish, under the guidance of Pep Guardiola and the Man City team, people thought Grealish might be in a shout for the Ballon d'Or. That's how highly people thought of. Well, the opposite has happened. Grealish has been a passenger in this great City team. His stats read as 18 starts, 3 sub appearances, and a horrible return of 2 goals and 2 assists. In a team like this, to only have 2 assists, so many great finishes, and in so many chances created, only 2 goals, and Grealish plays attacking, you expect more from him. And Grealish went from being the star man at Villa that carried his attacks, dribbled past defenders, to just being a backup squad player at Man City, it appears. It's as if Grealish is scared to be himself at Man City. He's always just making the simplest passes instead of taking on defenders. He's always looking for the nearest short pass instead of the long range, key risky pass. Grealish at Villa was known for running past defenders and scoring goals. But at Man City, He's more known for passing the ball back to Cancelo, because most of his highlights will just show him passing back to Cancelo or De Bruyne. Now, many people might argue that Grealish hasn't been a flop and he is just playing the Man City way, the way Pep Guardiola requires him to play. But I just believe if you command 100 million fee and get paid 300,000 a week, you should be doing more. You look at someone like Foden and he looks twice the player Grealish is. Now, could Grealish be a star next season once he's settled in this Man City team? Maybe, but this season he has to be a flop. Finally, coming in at number 1, there can only be one biggest flop of the season, and it is the world-class striker, supposedly, former Serie A winner, £100 million striker, Romelu Lukaku. Being the only player signed by Chelsea, the Champions League holders, Lukaku was perceived as the final piece for Tuchel's Chelsea, and things got off to a great start, with Lukaku bagging 3 goals in his first 3 games. This led to many people predicting that Chelsea will want to be the favourites to win the Premier League. However, things just haven't worked out because it started getting sour after that great start. Lukaku was apparently not happy with the system Tuchel was playing him in, and his goals were drying up. Lukaku, like many modern strikers, the prima donna type footballers, look to blame the manager and the team and his system instead of looking at himself as to why he's finding it tough to score in the Premier League. See, the Italian league was easy for him, and he was desperate to get back. He was so desperate, he even gave this now infamous interview in December where he basically trashed Chelsea and talked about his love for Inter Milan. Since then, things have never been the same. Chelsea have adapted to playing without Lukaku, their 100 million man, on 350k a week. Their highest paid player is now their bench player. His stats read out as 13 starts, 8 sub appearances, and with only 5 goals and 1 assist. Pretty pathetic for a striker in a top team, and very embarrassing. Lukaku will most likely be leaving Chelsea, or he might stay because of their financial situation, who knows. But this season, he's easily been the biggest flop of the season and will go down in the long list of Chelsea's expensive strikers who end up flopping. Well guys, that was my top 5 biggest flops of the season. Let me know in the comments who you think have been the biggest flops, who you'd move around in this list. Have I got anything wrong? But also remember, this is my opinion, so I appreciate all the comments, and yeah, please like and subscribe. Thank you.